I want to break the bridge between mining companies, especially the public ones, with investors. And for investors to serve them, I mentioned that there are traditional tools. There are many tools. They cover almost all stocks. But when I dive into mining side, I want to break out the unique side.
Welcome back to the Compass Mining Podcast. On this episode, I'm super excited to have on Cindy Feng, who is one of the co-founders of Bitcoin Mining Stock, which is a website with just alpha. Alpha is probably the best word to sum it up. Cindy, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, and good morning or good afternoon. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. Thank you for hopping on. I know you're literally on the other side of the world. For me, where are you actually in Australia?
I'm living in the east coast of Australia. So I don't live in big cities. It's actually countryside.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm in South America. You're in Australia. You love to see it. Global Bitcoin mining conversation. I'm excited to have you on because I had seen some of the stuff you'd been putting out before you and Nico Smid had put out the end of the year kind of roundup document that you guys put out, the 2024 Bitcoin mining wrap-up document that you put out. And in that document, you covered the pubco side of things. I know that that's not really Nico's focus. He knows about it. It was not his focus, and that's kind of your focus. And so what I wanted to do today is have you on, and let's talk about pubcos. We don't normally talk about pubcos on the podcast, but they are, I don't even want to say the elephant in the room. Seemingly sometimes they are the room, right? And then around that, you have companies like Compass. You have other private companies that aren't public. You have people that are doing home mining. There's a lot of Bitcoin mining heat reuse conversations going on right now. We've had many guests on, but I want to focus on the pubcos. But before we do that, can you give your own background in how you got into Bitcoin mining?
Okay, so basically, I started my project last year after working for BitDeer around 3 years. So prior to that, I've been working in many other crypto projects. So basically, once I graduate from university, I entered into crypto world. So I had a good exposure to this side. And for me, I firmly believe the freedom and the revolution side for finance stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm here. But in terms Bitcoin mining, it all started in 2021 when someone from BitDeer actually said, "Oh, would you join us?" So that's how it all started with Bitcoin mining.
And what were you doing at BitDeer?
So I was a global marketing manager there. So basically just look after a bunch of things, quite different with what I'm doing now, but still the same industry.
Yeah, marketing is a huge part of the industry. It's a huge part of the crypto industry. I actually read a tweet today from someone she works at Stellar, and it said something, I should probably bring it up, but it was basically just like, one of the most important parts of a crypto project, or even Bitcoin, or especially Bitcoin miners, and we can talk about this more, is marketing. And it could be like 80% marketing, 20% actual narrative or product or service. And that will push things forward. So it is interesting that you came from the marketing side. And so, okay, so you worked at BitDeer, and then you because like Bitcoin mining stock as a project, as a company, as an idea, it's fairly new. How old is that?
So I had the idea, probably just a rough idea. I didn't want to start that back to 2023. So funny thing, like in 2023, when I went to Mining Disrupt, I met a lot of people and I saw some problems, and that really bothered me. But I didn't have a solution or anything. But anyway, I got some ideas back in 2023.
Okay, well, this is perfect timing because, as you know, Mining Disrupt just finished up. It's finishing up now as we're recording this. And What were the problems? What were the ones you saw that you didn't have a solution for, but you were like, those are issues that need a solution?
Okay, so first the problem, we all go to a conference and sometimes we don't know the person, or we actually know certain person is from certain company, but we have no idea what the company is doing. Even for public company, we only know they are mining. So what's next? In most case, like a business can have multiple business arms. And that's the area generally we don't know. But most basically for public companies, like when I were at BitDeer, we try to like attract investors. But first, before anyone investing in anything, they need to have a good understanding of the company. But I would put it in that way. Mining companies in general are so bad at communicating their values or unique selling point. So that just becomes another investment option. And for traditional investors, when they use stock tools, generally they need some tool to screen whether that's a good option or not. In general, mining companies look pretty bad with traditional finance ratings. So we all know this industry is unique and you need to invest a lot of money, and sometimes it takes longer. And also with the circle, many things combined makes the finance matrix look bad. So I thought, that's not the full story. What if someone from the industry can tell investor what's actually happening in a language they can understand?
So it's interesting you say that. And now I want to ask you a question that I don't know if you're going to answer, because I don't think you want to be partial to any miner, and you also worked for BitDeer. But this is something that I've heard a lot, and I'll make a comment after, but is there a company of any of the publicly traded companies, the miners, that you think is doing a good job communicating their value, their message, their narrative, their brand?
Okay, so since I'm a platform, I can't really take a stance. But I do read a lot of financial reports or website. So I don't want to say the name, but I can tell you some examples. Some companies, they are doing really well with their financial report. It's very clear, very clean. You can understand easily. Some are doing really well with their website. Again, they strengthen their value clearly, and they have numbers up to date. And some, they are doing really well with interviews. Some of their executives communicate the company values clearly. And I think that's really a bonus point as well. So I think we have quite a few companies that are doing pretty well from different channels.
Compass Mining makes Bitcoin mining accessible to everyone. Whether you're investing in one machine or thousands, our customizable solutions are tailored to meet your needs. We are your experts in Bitcoin mining, offering a platform where individuals and businesses can purchase hardware, host machines, and access a range of ancillary services. Start mining in as little as 48 hours with our turnkey hardware online and mining directly to your Bitcoin wallet within 2 business days. Discover more at compassmining.io and see how we can power your success.
That was a really good answer without saying which companies, but I can already imagine which companies have executives that maybe speak better than other executives, and we can leave it there. One of the things I think is really interesting, though, is that, okay, so you have these mining companies, and how many publicly traded mining companies? I think there's 30, right?
More than 30. So on my website, we list 32, but there are at least 34 or more so more than 30.
Okay. So there's more than 30 publicly traded mining companies. And I think it's very interesting the role that you play in the ecosystem, giving people access to a suite of tools so that way they can go and basically they can find the value, right? And we can get into all your tools. And I know you guys have a newsletter and all that. And then you have people like Anthony Power and Bryce McNally and what they're doing with power mining analysis, and they give people a good idea. It's almost like the pubcos, whether they know it or not, they don't necessarily need to have the best marketing, maybe. Obviously, it's not going to hurt them to have the best marketing, but they can just exist. And then there's all these other people around in the ecosystem that are constantly looking at them and, able to add value, able to bring narrative where maybe they're leaving some out, and able to help some maybe blind spots of communication. Right. That's one of the things I thought when you said, okay, I'm the more global marketing executive for BitDeer. So with that said, can you dive into now, and I love the name bitcoinminingstock.io. It's pretty easy to remember. Talk to me about now. You saw the issues at Mining Disrupt. This is the tool. This is the solution now to allow people to get a more holistic understanding of value for a Bitcoin mining company. What exactly are the tools? Because from the website, I can only see so much. I'm not a premium member and I can't see behind the curtain of info. So if you wouldn't mind, talk to me, about the creation of the website and all the other parts. Because I know you have a newsletter and I don't know, maybe you have a Telegram group or however else you're creating community and communicating with your members.
Okay, so let me put it this way. When I first started this, I want to bridge the bridge between mining companies, especially the public ones, with investors. So you can see the audience is very clear. And for investors to serve them, I mentioned that there are traditional tools. There are many tools. They cover almost all stocks. But when I dive into mining side, I want to break out the unique side. So when I first started the page, I actually studied the operation side, like hash rate, their productions, their holdings. So I actually started with that instead of financial numbers, like earnings, revenues. So first side is operation updates, because you probably noticed public companies, many of them actually release a monthly operational report. And I think there are good some executive comments, but for most people, they just want to get the numbers for their investment thesis. So yes, the first side is operational updates. So it's easier for you, especially if you compare to the company size. Otherwise, do you know which company has the largest hash rate out of your head? It's like a very basic question, but it's difficult to answer because you have to go to report. So why not just one person does the basic job? The other people, they could just look at the numbers in one place and do their analysis by themselves. So first part, and the second part is coming is financial numbers. So that's quite a standard, but we're still under development. So I skip that. And the next one you can see is mining index. So what does that mean is, as a stock investor, you have many investment options, not only mining stocks, there are many other. You always think about, which industry is good or not. And for mining company, basically, I want to create a benchmark for the overall market performance. So we all know the Bitcoin has seasonality. So for a certain period, it performed really well, even outperformed some of the top stocks. And so I built the index with the traditional method. So, during this period, compared to Bitcoin or compared to SP 500, how this sector perform. If it outperform, which means it's maybe mining stocks are more attractive. So that's another product. And yesterday, I just launched a new product. So this one is not about the public companies and the investor. The new one is called the mining directory. This one is more for broad Bitcoin mining ecosystem. So basically, you can think it as a Google Map. So when you need a certain service, maybe you need to build your infrastructure. You want to know who you can talk to. So basically, I map out the companies or industry players based on category. And when you are looking for certain things, for example, financial service, or you want to buy ASIC, you get a bunch of options. Otherwise, traditionally, we rely on our network, who we know. And sometimes it's not necessarily the best offer or meet your needs the best. So now you have more options. You can just explore or even just start a conversation. So I know we go everywhere. So in summary, I have two major sides if you put a two category. One serves like a stock investors. So the product include operation like a status and the financial numbers and the index. That's the three. And the other part I'm serving the broad mining industry is a directory. So that answer your question.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And I think one of the things, because I was on the website today and I was browsing around, and it's a beautiful site. And I really liked let me see if I can find it. Maybe it was in the Q&A. What we offer, products. Anyways, I forget exactly where I saw it, but one of the things it talked about, it was talking about why you guys are running this site, running the business the way you're running it, right?
Yeah.
You basically, the business model is partnerships and then premium people who are going to pay the premium amount, right?
Yeah.
To be able to have like the subscription model. Okay. You mentioned that there's about $3,000 to $5,000 monthly in APIs. Can I ask, if you want to share, I don't know if you can share, but I'm just so curious, what APIs are you guys paying for monthly that are adding, all the value to the site, right? So you can pull in information in real time and have everything in real time as it is. So where can I ask what those are? Just because I'm so curious as far as dashboard creation, where people are getting the alpha.
Okay, so first of all, I have a co-founder, so he looks after the technical side or development side. So for me, I come up with the idea or say, oh, this is our need. Then he come up with the solution. So I actually don't know. I actually don't know which one exactly he is looking into. And the second point, I know from our discussions, internal discussions, we can't just for a lot of place, we can't just get numbers. We have to sorting the numbers in a certain way, do our calculations. So basically, on top of the API, we have another layer with certain the rules. So two things combined, and that's how. So that ends up what you see on the website, but I don't know which tools exactly.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I saw that you posted. I think did you post today about your co-founder Hayden? Was that accurate?
He's
on
my
X?
co-founder.
Yeah. I didn't know you had a co-founder until today. So maybe the rest of the world didn't either. Talk to me about that relationship with Hayden. And what's his background? Was he also in mining at a pubco before, or what's his background?
So I talked to what I know. He got into Bitcoin relatively early. So he's probably started in the industry much earlier than me. In his early days, he did a lot of interviews with big names. Some are like a really positive people. For example, Roger Ver. Hayden was quite familiar with him. They talked a lot, and he got into from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash. Then then he did his video things and other things. I don't know. It's better he talk it by himself, right? But what I can say is, while I started the project, I had quite different people approached me. They said, "Oh, we can start these things together." But the one thing I see in Hayden, he has the skills, like especially technical background, which I don't have, and product management. I just want to come up with the idea. I don't want to tell developers how to achieve that, what to do. He is really good at that as well. So he can manage that aside. He has really good understanding with Bitcoin or crypto industry overall. And I know him fairly well. So I think it's important to have someone you share the same value, because sometimes someone has perfect skill set, but maybe not the right partner. But for me, because I happen to know him so well as well, so yeah. But if you want to know more about him, I think it's better you talk to him.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just wasn't aware that you had a co-founder until I saw that post today, and then I was obviously diving into the website before we recorded today. So I just think that that's really cool. I think it's hard to build something on your own, and I think some of the best projects I've seen have 2 or 3 co-founders, just because they bring different expertise. They also bring different networks, which are really important. Yeah, that's really important when you're building. This is going to be very much, people who listen to the Compass Mining podcast are many people who are already in our Compass Mining ecosystem. And whether they're hosting with us or they want to host with us, or maybe they see an episode that we put out, if you could, can you kind of give the pitch? What's the pitch as to why someone should sign up? And I think, and you can please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe for the premium account, it's only $150 a year, which I think is really reasonable if you're going to get a lot of alpha. Like that is nothing for subscription on some of the stuff I've seen from YouTube influencers that do investments, that have Patreons, that have private Telegrams or Discords. What is it that you get? Like, because I know you have a free version, and then you get the free newsletter, and you can comment on posts, and you can probably get in behind, and there's probably some stuff you can do, but why should people pay for the premium? What is it that gives them? Because I think if you're a big time stock investor in Bitcoin mining stocks, $150 a year is nothing.
Thank you for saying that.
You're welcome. I feel like I just pitched it for you, but please go ahead. Tell me why.
Okay, first of all, I provide some historical numbers, and I actually thought it for investors. It's clear, it saves them time. And time is precious. That's the first one. And you need numbers, especially you don't want to compare apple with banana. You want to compare the same category. So basically, I have done sortings for the data side, so you can rely on it. And the second, obviously, my project is still under development, so there are a few member benefits coming, including some tools, some really cool tools. For example, Index. If you are a paid member, you can actually customize the starting date, and you can choose your own index composite. You can say, if I only invest in certain companies, what's the performance looked like in past 2 years or 1 year? Give you some idea. Obviously, past performance is not an indication for the future performance, but at least you get some ideas, So there are many other tools. I don't want to talk about it until it's ready, because here's the thing. when I say something, I really want to deliver it. So yes, second point, you can get a lot more tools, and they will be really helpful, help you save time and get more insight. And the third point, I think here is it's more about the value. So right now, sometimes we complain about, no good content, or like big companies, and it's okay. Let's put it in that way. It's just like nowadays when you go shopping, you see the same things everywhere. But now I also notice the trend. There is some boutiques that are really unique. They only serve small bunch of people, but people really love that. So what I'm trying to do is I want to build something boutique, really useful for maybe just a small number of people. So if you want to support such things, or if you also agree on such a philosophy, if you don't want the same things everywhere, then I think you should support some like potential, high potential teams. So.
Yeah, I love that. And then as a marketing background,
Yeah.
how are you guys getting the message out about BitcoinMiningstock.io? Because you're in Australia. I don't know where Hayden's located, but I'm pretty sure this is not exclusively, but with a huge focus on the US market. What are you guys doing to get in front of the US market, get in front of either someone who's already investing in Bitcoin mining stocks and wants to take it further so they're going to get the premium, or someone who's new to Bitcoin mining, doesn't want to get lost and realizes $150 may save me a lot of headache down the line because it's going to give me all these tools? How are you guys getting in front of the US market?
So here's the thing. I worked in the mining industry, so I have network. So, I do something that people know, right? And many of us are actually stock investors as well. And another thing, it's not difficult to dig information over the internet. You know where like mining stock investors are. So if you know where they are, you just get yourself in front of them. And I think my approach is I try to provide value. That's why you see me writing like deep dive articles. So I use my way, like also combine the financial language, finance, so they understand both sides. And if you look at my post, it's quite popular among like investors. So that's what we are doing. And on top of that, obviously there are other marketing techniques. For example, my website, including the name, I have given thought. So that's for SEO purpose, So when someone searches for things, it comes to my website. So yes, I'm not in the US, but we're doing a lot of things to be appealing or get in front of the investors.
Yeah, 1,000%. The internet's a powerful thing. I'm not also in the US, but obviously constantly supporting stuff focused on the US market. At least right now, I'll travel to the US in the next 24 hours. What is the future of Bitcoin mining stock? I assume the idea with you and Hayden is like, how do we get more people to be premium members? How do we get more partners to support us? What else? What's the future? Is it always going to be a website? Is there ever going to be kind of an app? Is there going to be some type of a product or different service? What's the future? And you also may not want to share things, as you said, until, they're kind of real. And then you can, because you want the words to be real. But if you could, like, what's the future here?
So here's the thing. That's so like tying back to my personality again. I think we are early startup, right? So there are many possibilities. So I just keep my arms open. But one thing for sure, I want to build a platform. I don't know whether it's just a website or later become an app. I don't know. But I want to be a platform that brings the value to my audience. So that's one thing I want to do and keep at my heart.
I love that. As we kind of finish up here, where can people get in touch with you? I know on X you're at It's Cindy Feng.
Yeah.
On LinkedIn, I can leave that as well. I'll obviously leave the bitcoinminingstock.io website link, even though I've just said it out loud. Where else can people get in touch with you and learn more and learn more about bitcoinminingstock.io outside of the website and maybe get in touch with you?
I think they can reach out to me on Telegram as well. So basically,
Okay.
it's just my name, Cindy Feng.
Okay, cool. Well, Cindy, thank you so much for taking the time today. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe. Listen to this on a podcast platform. Please subscribe. Make sure you're following us at Compass Mining on X, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Cindy, thank you so much again for taking the time. I know you're on the other side of the world, so scheduling has been kind of difficult, but this has been a lovely conversation, and I do wish you the best. People should go check out bitcoinminingstock.io. It is a very clean website. Your devs have done great work. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. So have a nice day.